Hi. So this is a Christmas week, Christmas month leading up to New Year's, and we're finally going to say goodbye to a year which has, I'm sure, been the most harrowing for all of us anywhere in the world. So this does call for a good send-off to this year and finally celebrate New Year coming soon. You know, Christmas and New Year's, basically me and Simanti celebrate by cooking some of our favorite recipes. It's the time when we really pamper ourselves. And for me, the favorite food is, my number one cuisine is tandoori food. We of course don't have tandoor in Bombay apartment, but we make do with the oven. But we use the same recipes. So tikkas, is great. I love tikkas, and there are all kind of tikkas. These days you get amazing, chicken tikkas, 10 type of chicken tikkas, 10 type of mutton tikkas and things like that. But fish tikkas. But my personal favorite is the authentic vintage mutton tikka, which is also known as mutton boti tikka or mutton boti kebab. And that's what I'm going to cook in this episode, and let me show you how. As is the case with most meat dishes, or in my case with almost anything which is meat or fish or non-veg, I really I'm big on marination, So with mutton, especially with goat meat, you have to marinate it, especially if you're planning to cook it in the oven or in the tandoor. It has to tenderize, it has to soak in all the spices, all the flavors for that to really give out those flavors when you're biting into it. So I have a 3-step of marination in this. The first step is for tenderizing, and which basically I use, and if you remember it from my earlier episode of the mutton run, I use raw papaya for tenderizing meat. It's really good. It's pretty bland, so it doesn't really flavor the mutton too much, but it tenderizes it really well. So it leaves the space free for all the other spices and ingredients that you're going to put into it to flavor it. So that's the first step. The first marination is for tenderizing. Peel the papaya, the raw papaya, and clean it of all the seeds, and then just chop it into more manageable pieces and shove it in the grinder. This is the kind of paste you need to make to marinate the mutton then. This is around 600 to 700 grams of boneless mutton. They are cubes, and you have to make sure that these are basically not more than 1.5 inch or so. That's it. And so I'm going to put all that here, then add some salt. Some of this salt will of course get washed away when we take out the excess raw papaya marinade that we are going to use right now. And you just have to mix it. That's it. This marination you have to do for, I guess, at least say around 3 hours. So ideally, I would say around 4 or 5 hours, 6 hours, but 3 hours would also be fine. After that, we will get on to the second marination. So it's been 3 hours, and what I've done is that I have shaved off all the excess, taken out all the excess papaya, raw papaya that was there. So now this is the meat is ready to get marinated in a second marinade. So let me introduce you to what's going into the second marinade. So here we have some homemade garam masala, some coriander dhania powder, there's some cumin powder, jeera powder, some smoked pepper, smoked red pepper, and salt, and of course some Kashmiri lal mirch. Then I'm going to grind a little bit of these masalas also, which is of course some cardamom, some cloves. This is it's the mace spice. It's, I think in Hindi it's called javarit, whatever. It's the mace spice. Then some cinnamon, and there is a little bit of nutmeg here. I don't particularly enjoy the taste of nutmeg, so I'm just putting a very little of it. And I'm just going to grind this, and some black pepper. And some black pepper. So I'm going to grind this and then add it to this. So this is what it is. Smelling good. After the tenderizer, the first marinade is the dry rub, which is actually the second marinade. These are all measured, basically 1 teaspoon of each, except for the smoked pepper, which I've taken only half teaspoon because we're trying to go a little low on hot spice. A little more salt because some of the salt was washed off, and a little Kashmiri lal mirch. And we're just going to mix it well so that each piece of mutton gets the dry rub. Ideally, again, the second marinade should be there for at least 2.5 hours, minimum 1.5 hours. I would say keep it for 2 hours because this is where all your flavoring is going to come from, most of it anyways. So the more it soaks in the spices, the better. It's been 2 hours, and the dry rub marinade time is over, and now we're going to add some paste and some curd to it. So for the paste, I'm basically using some fresh ginger, fresh garlic, some green chilies, some mint and coriander mix paste, which I had done the thing earlier. This mint and coriander paste was actually lying with, made it for something else. You can also just add fresh coriander and mint into this and make it at the same time, and some lemon juice. So around 1.5 teaspoon of it. So this is the paste that we have. I'm going to use this. It's a little spicy, hot. Oh my god, this is really. So this is where your final flavoring and the freshness to this comes from. With the lemon and coriander, mint, fresh garlic, ginger, green chilies. So all of them, that freshness, it brings it, the nice perks up the marinade and perks up the meat and the recipe. And now we are going to add some curd to it. So not too much, maybe I would say 2 to 3 tablespoons, and then you mix it well. make sure. And one more thing we are going to, after I finish mixing this, we are going to add as the last thing is some oil. You can use any oil you want. So you can add any oil, like, but a light oil, like and light flavor oil like olive oil, or you can use the regular vegetable refined oil. Don't use a strong flavored oil because that will take away from the flavoring and the fragrances that the spice makes and all that other paste that I've added to it. So this is nicely mixed, and now the time to add a little oil to this. It will keep the marinade moisturizing, so just not too much, just 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm using a regular vegetable refined oil. So we're going to keep this marinade now, which is the third and the final marinade, for an hour. You know, because most of the spices and tenderizing and everything is already done. This is just the final flavoring and bringing out some freshness. So just 1 hour is more than enough. I'm preheating the oven for 20 minutes at so this is 20 minutes, yeah, at 200. And while the oven is getting preheated, we are going to just start preparing for the grill. I have this. I'm going to put the tikka in the skewers and just oil them and then put it on the grill. So just going to oil them so that it doesn't stick. The last marinade time is also over, so it's been 3 hours for the first marinade, which was for tenderizing with raw papaya. Then 2 hours with the dry spice mix rub, and now 1 hour with the curd and the ginger garlic paste and everything else. If you're going to cook it for dinner, best is to start in the morning, or if you're going to cook it for lunch in the day, then start the night before. That way you will get even much better. So basically, if you're starting the night before, then just marinate with the tenderizer and do the rest of the marinade in the morning. Just making sure that I'm covering each tikka with a little bit of the marinade, so that this thing, and you have to keep doing it so that the tikka cooks well. At the same time, it retains all the flavors and remains juicy. So the marinade you will keep dabbing the tikkas with, and also with a little bit of oil. It's been around 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes since the oven's been preheating at 200, which is enough time for it to be evenly hot. And now we're going to shove this tray in. I'm going to shove it with the tray and then take out the tray from below and just leave the grill. So this way you make sure that you don't create a mess in the kitchen while shoving your grill tray, and the head chef will not scream at you. We'll just increase the timer to... So I've just increased the timer to 40 minutes. This is the first cooking that's going to happen there. This is mutton, and we're going to keep the temperature at 200. So let it cook this thing, and then we're going to turn it around and cook for maybe another 20 to maybe 40 minutes, depending on how much it's got cooked in the first 40 minutes. But you got to keep track of how the mutton is reacting to the heat, because 200 is a high heat, and you don't want the upper crust of the mutton pieces to get burnt or overtly or quickly cooked, and the inside remaining raw. So then therefore you might need to reduce the heat a bit, maybe to 180 or 160, because each cut of meat and everything, they react differently to heat. Just keep a check on it, don't forget about it. 40 minutes are over at 200, and we're just going to take out the tray and dab it with a little bit of marinade and oil. Again for another 40 minutes. As we could see, the meat has already cooked quite a bit, and so we are not going to change the temperature. The duration, I've kept it at 40 minutes, but I think it needs just another 20 minutes. So that should do it. It's hardly been 20 minutes, probably just 10-15 minutes since I shoved it back in, and it's already cooked. I mean, it's really falling off the skewers. So this is the magic of marination. This is why I keep insisting, please marinate your meat before cooking. And you see how tender and juicy and well done from the top these tikkas will be. So the mutton tikkas are done. Now it's time for plating. Whew. See, it's literally falling off the skewer. Just 50 minutes, total 50 to 60 minutes. That's all it took. As you can see, it's well done from the top and really soft from the inside. I'll just show it to you. See, as you can see, it's coming off. While I'm taking it off the skewer, the meat is breaking. That's how soft it is. All thanks to the marination. Just add a little, dress it up with a little onion. Some cream, mint chutney. And you're done. Time for tasting. See, look at this. See how soft it is? I mean, this is the closest you will come to making in the real tandoor, or the coal grill that we make. It's really good. When there are tikkas around, and if you're a Punjabi, can whiskey be any far behind? The best combination on earth. So this is it. Try this out. Really easy. And Let me know how did you guys do with this mutton tikka, and see you again in the next episode. Bye.